Hey, hey there. How are you guys? Cairo was like, "What are you waving at, you weirdo?" And there he goes. Come here. Come here. Come over here so they can see you. So they know I'm not making you up. No, you can't sit right there. You're in the blind spot. Over here. Come on. There you go. Sits. Sits in the ya. Good boy. Plots. Ja. He speaks lazy German. That's what I call it. What's up, guys? What's up? How we doing? Kind of a long, disappointing day, is it not? I think so. But I'm not one to be a Debbie Downer. Let's look to the future. And the future is going to be in about 15 minutes. So let's muster up. Where you from? What you munching on? Some of you guys get a head start, so I always scroll up. No one. Oh, no. Arkansas, first one. Oh, no. Australia beat him. Mate. If you say matey, that means you're a pirate. Poppy. Yeah, I saw some of you guys on Lab Padre stream today. What a disappointment. Not Lab Padre, SpaceX is a disappointment. But now we have something to look forward to tomorrow. All right, because that is the next closing scheduled time for Highway 4 is tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, then Monday. Or no, tomorrow is Monday. Holy cow, where does this weekend go? Tuesday is the first. New Zealand's back. SpaceX started their screensaver. Let's pull that up in the bottom corner right quick. And we can make it bigger. Oh yeah, science. I need food. That looks like either a pizza pie or Saturn. I can't tell which one, that little emoji. Creators is here, Calgary from Canada. The Creators, who is my mod, thank you, and a member, of course, one of my first members on Patreon, then he switched over to YouTube. He has his own channel, all right? I don't know if you guys ever played Sea of Thieves. Very fun pirate game. I personally enjoy it. So if you like Sea of Thieves, check out the Creators with a K. Deutschland, Colorado. I almost said Coronado. I lived on Coronado for a while, but Colorado. Argentina. What a coinkydink. You know why that's a coincidence? Because this is an Argentinian payload that's going on this rocket. Medina, Italy. I wonder if I got that right. How's it going, guys? Alabama, Dallas, Texas, Puerto Rico's here, Iowa, land of potatoes. Is that right? No. I'm thinking of Ireland. What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in with me. While we're waiting for SpaceX to get started, I feel like I'm sinking in this chair, but it's okay. We'll let it happen. If you are a member or patron, if you're on Discord under the Patreon discussions channel, I will keep an eye on that to say hello, see what you got to say. Let's switch over now to display one big because SpaceX is starting their stream. We didn't even get to brief this launch yet. I need to start these things earlier, apparently. We'll let SpaceX do it this time. All right. But we're not going to start their audio until they're done with this intro music. Michael Ernest is here. Need a launch like I need bacon. Oh, let's not talk about food, all right? Kevin's starving.
Good evening. It's Sunday, August 30th, and we're here at SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California. You're looking at a live view of the Falcon 9 rocket as it awaits its 7:18 p.m. Eastern Time launch from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station in Florida. My name is Michael Andrews, and I'm a supply chain supervisor here at SpaceX. For tonight's mission, we'll be placing the SAOCOM 1B Earth observation satellite into a low Earth sun-synchronous orbit for the National Commission of Space Activities of Argentina, known as CONAI. Now, it's the second and final satellite of our SAOCOM constellation. If you recall, SpaceX launched the first satellite, SAOCOM 1A, back in October 2018 from Vandenberg Air Force Base in Florida.
He's excited.
The satellite's main goal is to gather soil moisture information. The data provided by SAOCOM helps increase productivity and competitiveness of sectors like agriculture by generating, for example, risk maps that can help control crop diseases, by implementing efficient fertilizer systems, and for early flood warnings. The two SAOCOM satellites will work in partnership with Italy's Cosmo SkyMed constellation. All the satellites will work together to provide Earth imaging. Each SAOCOM satellite can acquire about 225 images every day. We also have two smaller rideshare satellites on board, Tyvak 0172 and the GNOMES 1 small sat for Planet IQ. Now, Planet IQ designs, builds, launches, and operates one of the most advanced constellations of radio occultation weather forecasting satellites. Radio occultation is a technology that measures and analyzes the signals generated by GPS satellites to determine weather data, such as pressure, temperature, and water vapor. This data is used in weather forecast models to greatly improve the accuracy and extend the range of those weather predictions. Now, tonight's launch is an especially exciting one. It's SpaceX's first polar orbit from the East Coast. A polar orbit is one in which satellites pass above the North and South poles as opposed to the equator. This is the first polar trajectory since the late 1960s flown out of Cape Canaveral. SpaceX worked closely with the Air Force and the FAA to create a trajectory that meets the necessary safety requirements for flight. Falcon 9's autonomous flight termination system, its exceptional reliability, and its improved performance over heritage launch vehicles is a key factor in why SpaceX is able to meet the unique performance and safety challenges of launching this polar mission safely from the Cape while still delivering the payload to its desired orbit. Due to the flight path tonight, people along the eastern coast of Florida, including Miami, may be able to see Falcon 9 as it launches to space, as well as our second stage burn following stage separation, and maybe even the first stage boost back burn as it makes its way back to Earth for landing. And because of the time of the day of launch, about 30 minutes before sunset, we might get nice illuminations of the contrails if clouds aren't in the way. Now
I
let's
live in
take a look
Ohio.
at Falcon 9
I'll see
out on the
nothing.
pad at the Cape.
Good evening. My name is Andy Tran.
Hey, new guy. All right, I recognize the first guy. Yeah, polar orbit. I forgot to mention that. Well, I didn't really forget. I didn't have time to. So polar orbit, they're going to go up and then that way relative to me. Okay, up and down, not around the Earth, which is cool. Yeah, very rare and first time for SpaceX. It's awesome. So if you're on the East Coast, hey, keep an eye out. But if you're in Ohio, just stare at the corn, I guess. Yeah, so they're going to obviously try to land this booster. I believe this is the fourth launch for this booster. The fairings are new. They'll try to attempt to catch those as well with mystery and mischief. And they'll deploy, I forgot what I was going to say. They're going to deploy SAOCOM 1B at about 15 minutes after liftoff. And then I'm going to end my stream, but you can continue watching SpaceX's because they're going to stream for another 45 minutes after that. And about just after an hour after T-0, they will deploy the two small sats. But I'm going to try to live stream Electron's launch for my members tonight, and I've been trying to stream all day with the first SpaceX launch and then with Starship. So I need to get the dogs out and give them some playtime. Look how depressed he is. It's quite sad.
Both fairing halves are brand new. We only have one recovery ship supporting today's mission, Miss Chief, you can see on screen right now.
Miss Chief.
So we won't be able to attempt to catch these fairing halves, but rather try to scoop them out of the water once they land.
I stand corrected.
The other recovery vessel, Miss Tree, was positioned to support today's Starlink mission, which has now been rescheduled for later on this week.
Makes sense.
And finally, the large truss structure next to Falcon 9 is called the Transporter Erector, or TE. The TE's job is to roll Falcon 9 out to the launch pad, raise it to a vertical launch position, and also route power.
All right, let's get to these super chats. Cringe it's either pronounced cringe or cring. Just want to say thanks! ! Thank you for tuning in. Good shoot, Bob Joteman. I had someone became a patron today, and he sent me a message. He's like, I am just supporting you on Patreon because we both love shoots. And I'm like, I'd give you a virtual hug if I could. We're a family. Michael Frege, another patron. What's up? I totally butchered your last name. Frego, Lego, my Frego. Odd enough? ? Yeah. He was on the Lab Padre stream, apparently. All those odd numbers. I like those odd numbers. Those are good. Don't tell me the odds.
About 36,000 gallons. And the second stage is fully fueled at about 9,600 gallons. Liquid oxygen, though, it's still loading on both stages. In terms of helium, we've also begun to load helium into Falcon 9. The vehicle uses helium gas as a pressurant and helps push the RP-1 and locks through the Merlin engines. Think of like your car, gravity keeps all the fuel at the bottom. We don't have that luxury in zero gravity, so the helium pushes that fuel to our engine's turbo pumps. And then at T-minus 7 minutes, our engine chill process will begin. This is where we allow a small amount of the super chilled LOX to flow into the Merlin engine's turbo.
That's a good point. A lot of people, that's one of the most common questions I receive personally is from fans that are like, okay, how does a rocket push fuel through the engines in space when fuel is just floating there? Well, pressure, that's how. And they do use helium, like you was saying, to pressurize those tanks to help make that happen, really push that fuel through there. They also use, I don't know the terminology for it, but they use like these floaty bricks. That's what I call them, floaty bricks. And some tanks to help keep the sloshing down. And then for Starship, they use header tanks, which are smaller, rounder tanks for landing burns, because that way they can get that fuel to Raptor more easily in free fall or what have you. I heard flip-flops. That's the lawyer wife. She's spying on me.
Postpone our Starlink launch earlier today, and it does have a real chance of doing that again for this mission. There are a lot of storm cells being generated in Central Florida, and they're heading east towards the Cape. We're still monitoring that situation, and we probably will down to the last minute. But barring weather, all systems continue to be go for a liftoff at 7:18 p.m. Eastern Time.
How crappy would that be if we went 0 for 3 today with SpaceX launches? That would suck. All right, this was supposed to be a historic day of SpaceX launches. First day to fly 2 Falcon 9 rockets in the same day, and then plus the SN6 hop. God, it's such a tease. Alistair Grantham. Elon going to teach pigs to fly. Is that a reference to, what's that pig's name at the Neuralink thing? Elon gave a presentation through Neuralink a couple days ago, and they put a chip in a pig's brain, I guess. I haven't watched the whole thing. I only got to like the first 3 minutes, then I had to turn it off, but I want to get back to watching the rest of it. Apparently it was quite funny and quite awkward in some parts of it. Gertrude, that's it. Gertrude. That sounds German. Is that German? You Germans that are in the chat? When I took German in high school, we all had German names. Mine was Hans Jürgen. I wanted to be Hans Gherkin, but they wouldn't let me. They made it Hans Jürgen. Yeah, then we had you're right, we had the Delta Heavy, Delta Heavy scrub a couple days ago. I was going to live stream that for my members as well. It's just been so disappointing lately. I'm disappointed with the space community. They just need to force these launches, man. Let it be what it is. But then again, I'm not the one that's going to lose money, so probably shouldn't listen to me. Zach also had a German class. His German name was Dietrich. Yeah. Axel was another one. Axel. Name that movie. That heavy scrub was epic. Yeah, I didn't get to watch the actual ignition because the fireball goes up the boosters. I bailed after the first abort, and because it was already 2:30 in the morning. I was like, I'm going to bed. I'm too old for this nonsense. I don't know how these other guys do it. Yeah, so the weather isn't looking all that great. They'll take it up to T minus 60 seconds to make the final decision. So let's stay positive and be hopeful and think positive thoughts. And then if it doesn't go, then we can all get upset. All right, that's how this should work. Think positive thoughts. Thank you, mods who are modding. We appreciate your modding. Come on, volume. That's dramatic music. I don't want to listen to it because I probably get dinged. Apatox is here. Droning Along is here. He's got a single gold bar. William Lengthen Come with the rock on hand emoji. It was my favy. Who else is here? Let me scroll up. Teenage Astronaut's here. Thank you, Teenage Astronaut, for modding. Appreciate you, bro. Nightbot is modding, but no one appreciates that. Should fire it. Ryan Ritter. Guys, we need more than 300 likes. We're down to 281. We must be losing likes. That's fine. I don't care. Give your likes to SpaceX. I want to make sure I like their stream really quick. Boom. Look at that. Because I'm on it.
Falcon 9 is now moving into the final stages of the countdown. The vehicle remains in good health. but the weather is actually now go. The status has changed last minute. In terms of fuel, the first and second stages are now fully fueled with RP1. LOX loading will continue for the next few minutes. And also one thing you'll hear 1 minute before liftoff, you'll hear the announcement that Falcon 9 is in startup mode. This means that the rocket's own internal computers are now autonomously controlling the launch countdown. The SAOCOM 1B payload continues to be healthy. The Falcon 9 team is tracking no issues on the rocket. Weather has just recently opened up and is looking good, and the range is green for launch.
It's one
As a
angry
reminder,
rocket.
If we don't launch today, we do have that backup opportunity tomorrow, pending range acceptance at 7:19 p.m. Eastern local time. And with just under 3 minutes to go before launch, let's listen in to the final countdown prior to liftoff.
All right, so I was just thinking with this wide view here, I'm like, I feel like I was just here, and I was. We all were. We went on a tour of the cave, and that's why it looked familiar to me. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. If you didn't watch my live stream of Flight Simulator 2020, make sure you check it out. It's quite a joy. All right, got to see me behind the controls of a Cessna 172 and freak everyone out because I don't know what I'm doing. Lonnie Holcomb's back. Here, take my money. He demands of it. Okay, I will. And Google will take 30%. I hope you don't mind that either. But thank you, man. Love you. Love you a long time. And I love that picture too. Was that like a Delta Heavy, a white version of Delta Heavy? I can't tell. Love it.
Stage 2 locks closed out.
So the fuel for the
And
Falcon
as our
9
LOX is fully loaded,
he interrupted
and
me.
it's topped off, you'll start seeing this condensation, these clouds form more and more right up until liftoff.
Get excited, Cairo! I don't think he's excited, guys. Cairo, get excited. Cairo. There he is. He's alive. This is not a brand new booster. You can see the scorch marks on it.
All right, we have entered startup mode. Falcon 9 has taken over the remainder of the countdown. We're just waiting for the go for launch callouts.
Please give us something.
Stage 2, press for flight.
We're
LD, go for launch.
desperate. We're desperate for some boom time. Yeah. I stole that from another YouTube channel. The boom time is mine, though.
T-minus 30 seconds.
I see you, the nerd. I see you. You
T-minus
crazy
15
cat person.
seconds.
Falcon 9 is leaving flight.
It's gotta
10,
go.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
It's alive.
Liftoff of Falcon's first East Coast polar launch, Ola, Argentina.
Stage 1 course Canaveral.
Licking some clouds. Yeah. Cloud licking. Yeah. They're gonna send a cease and desist letter to me. Oh,
We're
that
now
was
40
sweet.
seconds into flight. Falcon 9 has taken off. It's cleared the tower, and we're currently throttling down to prepare for maximum Q. That's the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure. It's at 1 minute 12 seconds.
Vehicle is supersonic.
I like how it lit up the clouds. We don't get to see that often enough. It's very beautiful.
Vehicle has reached maximum aerodynamic pressure.
You've heard it. We've reached max Q. At this point, the loads in the vehicle become less and less as the atmosphere gets thinner. We're now able to throttle those
Vehicle's
Merlin
clear,
engines back up. And at its maximum power, like right now,
And,
the
engine
vehicle
chill
consumes
started.
more than 700 gallons of fuel per second. All's looking good with our first stage's trajectory. The next couple events, there are 5 events, one after another. First, our main engine cuts off on our first stage. The stages will separate. Our first stage will then flip around to begin its landing attempt. The second stage's Merlin vacuum engine will ignite for second engine start 1. The first stage's boost back burn will start. It's one of 3 burns to help us land. They occur one after another in about 15 seconds.
Yes, there is going to be a launch from the west coast at
This is that
Vandenberg.
first polar orbit. If the clouds,
But we don't
you can
know
see through
when.
the clouds here. It's,
The
you
booster's
see some,
there.
You see some unique views that you haven't seen from Falcon 9 over Florida.
Inside the inner stage, where the second stage meets the
And
first
we have
stage.
Miko.
Oh yeah, keep that view, please.
Stage separation confirmed.
No, we never get to see it from that view. Dang it. Ooh, that's pretty cool too, though.
And ignition.
Bye, booster. There we go. Thank
All
you.
right,
They must
all
be
of those
listening.
events happen successfully one after another. This boost back burn, it'll last about 40 seconds. And so you see it on the left-hand side of the screen. On the right-hand side, you will see our second stage carrying those 3 satellites to orbit. And coming up next in about 20 seconds, that boost back burn will end, and then we'll have our fairing deployment.
You creators, Kevin, do you own the ISS Lego? I built mine recently and it looks amazing. Yeah, mine's back on the shelf right down here. You can probably look at it later toward the end of the stream today. SV, thank you for the tip.
All right, one of those first landing burn, the boost back
Very
burns,
nice of you.
has successfully ended. Our 2 fairing halves will now jettison to expose the satellites to space.
Here come the titanium grid fins and those nitrogen gas thrusters.
You see the first stage is already being a turnaround, and you can see the nitrogen from our attitude control system helping guide it back.
What a copycat.
Fairing separation confirmed.
Here she goes.
There you see our 2 fairing
Acquisition
halves
signal, Bermuda.
have jettisoned. You can even see them in the background there on our MVAC engine.
That's
and
sweet.
you can see them from land too. It'll take us some time to get those to come back down. We'll keep you posted on the update.
Show the parachutes.
We are T plus 4 minutes and 13 seconds into flight. Everything is looking great for tonight's mission. On the right-hand side of your screen is a view of our second stage, specifically its Merlin vacuum engine. We also call it MVAC engine for short. It's currently in the first of its 2 planned, first and only planned MVAC burn. The first burn should last for about another 4 minutes. On the left-hand side of your screen is a view of our first stage looking downward. It's continuing to fall back towards Earth. The next milestone for the first stage is its first stage entry burn. Falcon 9 needs to execute an entry burn to slow itself down before hitting the dense parts of the atmosphere. Without this second burn, relying on the atmosphere alone to slow Falcon 9 down would put unnecessary strain on the rocket. That entry burn is coming up at T plus 6 minutes and 10
Second stage
seconds.
is following nominal trajectory.
Gavin
Acquisition
Fry,
signals,
for your
South
lawyer fees, thanks for your
You may have also
channel.
noticed that we've deployed our 4
Thank you.
hypersonic grid fins. Those are the honeycomb-like structures that you see on the left-hand side of your screen. They help to guide the first stage back during descent by moving the center of pressure on the vehicle.
A lot of people don't know this, but the firm my lawyer wife works for makes her charge her clients $400 an hour. And since I had her on Friday's
Again, those
episode,
bursts of
I'll be
gas are
paying her
nitrogen.
for a while.
It's absolutely normal, and those help to orient the rocket during its descent.
We had to do a
path
lot of
towards Earth.
takes. Yeah, that's not a
We're
UFO.
about 20 seconds away from our second burn.
It's frozen
the entry
oxygen,
burn.
Stage 2 FTS has saved.
which is fun to look at. Float away, you. Float. Float away. Ooh, what if it gets in the cold gas thruster and it goes zoom? That'd be fun to watch too. Get up there, baby. Come on. Go to the left. Go to the left. Oh. That's sad. Debris below the first stage.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
And 3 Merlin engines have relit and are currently slowing the first stage down before it hits those dense parts of the atmosphere.
Because that atmosphere would shred it like a meteorite or meteor. We had a discussion about this on membership. It's meteor until it hits the ground, and it's meteorite.
Perform as expected.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
And that is our second burn completed. And as we mentioned earlier, we are going to be attempting to recover this booster back at land on landing zone 1. The first stage has one more burn left.
Is saved.
That is the landing burn. It begins just before we touch down and provides the booster with a soft descent before we land. During this period, the landing legs will also be deploying. You might be able to catch it right before we touch down. They're stowed at the base of the vehicle and made up of state-of-the-art carbon fiber and aluminum honeycomb.
It's coming in hot.
Stage 1 transonic.
That ground is really rushing. Holy cow.
See the cape getting closer and closer.
I wonder what terminal velocity is for these boosters.
The first stage is passing through the cloud layers right now.
That's cool. You see that airflow, that airstream through the
Stage
grid
1
fins?
landing burn startup.
That was awesome.
And here comes Falcon 9 attempting its 4th landing.
Do it. Do it. It's like slow-mo.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
X. Right on the X. Yeah,
And
yeah.
You could not ask
Stage
for
1
a
landing
better
burn.
landing than that. Falcon 9 has landed once again. That is number 4 for this first stage booster and the 58th overall of an orbital class rocket. What a way to start off tonight's mission.
I love those landing lands, man.
The second stage and
Land
our primary
landings.
mission are still continuing and remain healthy. The next milestone for the second stage is second engine cutoff 1, also known as SECO 1, and that is coming up at T plus 10 minutes and 5 seconds. During second engine cutoff 1, we'll be shutting down the second stage's MVAC engine. And as we approach this period, we'll be listening very closely for 2 callouts: verification of SECO 1 and then confirmation of a good orbital insertion. Both are going to be critical to ensuring that we deliver all 3 payloads to their intended orbits tonight.
Yeah, man. I love it when they land the boosters on the coast. You get that peripheral shot, that wide-angle shot of it coming in. That's so awesome.
while
And
we're
the
waiting
signal's
for that
always
period,
good.
Some fun facts. The engine you see on screen can produce over 200,000 pounds of thrust. The second stage is currently traveling at over 20,000 kilometers an hour. At those speeds, you could travel from Los Angeles to New York in just 12 minutes. Very, very fast.
Very, very fast. Yeah, you guys see that airstream go through the fins? That was cool. We don't get to see that very often.
We're about 20 seconds away from second engine cutoff 1.
Yeah, so if you didn't hear, Super Heavy, the booster for Starship, is only going to have 4 fins now, not 6.
And the second stage Merlin vacuum engine,
Or was it
has
8? I think it
successfully
was 6.
had SECO 1.
Nominal orbit insertion.
And that is the other call out we were waiting to hear on, a good orbital insertion. In just about 3 minutes, we will have the first of our 3 deployments. Until then, we are going to take a short break and be back around the T plus 13-minute mark for the deployment of the SAOCOM 1B.
All right, 13 minutes. Cairo was definitely excited. Check him out. He was so excited that he just had to leave the room and joy. Yeah. Ooh, that's a pretty cool shot. Look at there. All right. These are the CubeSats right here on the side. Oh, they changed it on me. I want to go back and look at that slipstream action. And the landing too while we're doing it, I guess. Here we go. Check it out. Ooh, atmosphere's building up. It's building up. Tell you what, when you're skydiving, you can't really tell you're falling and that the ground is rushing toward you until you get to about 5,000 feet. Then you're like, okay, yeah, it's time to pull that ripcord. That ground's really coming at me. Man, this sucker, though, was really falling fast. Holy cow. Starship will probably fall a lot slower because it'll be on its belly. You'll have more drag. But yeah, you're right. That looks like slow motion there on the right. Just slowly creeping toward the ground. And then bam! Bam! Fins. Right on the X. It's like each fin landed on an X wing. X. Ooh, it dirtied the pad. That was awesome. Let's go back to live. I got an itchy nose. Oh, I feel good. Thank you, Ryan Ritter, for modding for us. I'll catch you later. We're going to stay on. Look, there it is. Floating ice. We're going to stay on till this deployment of SAOCOM here in about 1 minute. Techno elevator music. Good night, teenage astronaut. Glad you could mod for us. I appreciate you. Nice launch and landing. Later, Kevin. See you for election. See you droning along. See you, Lieutenant. Do we have any Master Chiefs yet? Let me scroll up. I don't know if we've had memberships for that long. I don't know if we can have any Master Chiefs yet. In Kevin's YouTube membership, Master Chief outranks Admiral. That's just how I roll. Float away, you. Float. Go away. Man, it must be really dusty in space. Something's going crazy. The sun's radiation melting that ice. Is that what's going on there?
Welcome back from our mini coast phase. For those of you just joining us, we successfully launched our Falcon 9 rocket from Cape Canaveral on a polar orbit trajectory. We had a successful stage separation, a successful land landing, the fourth landing for this booster, and we're waiting the deployment of the SAOCOM 1B satellite. It's just about 10 seconds, 15 seconds away. It's the second and final satellite in this constellation. We first launched its sister satellite, SAOCOM 1A, in the fall of 2018.
If they keep that connection long enough, we'll get to see Antarctica and the South Pole. Or North Pole, I mean.
SAOCOM separation confirmed.
All right,
Peace.
You've seen it, we heard it. Successful deployment of that SAOCOM 1B satellite. And as a reminder, this satellite and SAOCOM 1A's satellite's goal is to gather soil moisture. It helps increase the productivity and competitiveness of the agriculture sector. It helps us generate risk maps that can help control crop disease. It helps implement better fertilizer systems and provide early flood warnings. These two SAOCOM satellites work together with Italy's Cosmos SkyMed constellation, and they work together by providing up to 225 Earth images per day.
Into the void it goes.
We still do have 2 satellites left to deploy. We're going to go into another coast phase. This one will last about 45 minutes. We're going to take a break, but we're leaving you with an animation that shows where we are in that coast phase. We'll be back at about T+1 hour for the deployment of the TIVAC 0172 and GNOMES 1 rideshare satellites. We'll see.
Gnomes, garden gnomes. All right, so yeah, we're going to end our stream here in a second. But if you want to keep an eye on the stream and watch these other 2 CubeSats deploy, there's a link in the description. It's like the first link to take you to the SpaceX live stream. If you're not already watching it, check this out. I think someone's ready for some love and attention. See him back there stalking me? Cairo. Cairo. Yeah. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get the doggo cam up. You can see that tail of his, that skunk tail. 1 second. They want to say hi to you. Don't snot it up now. Cairo. Cairo needs a bath. A bath? Let's go get a bath. You want a bath? Oh, you're switching sides on me now. So that's so mean. He loves bass because he gets ice cream afterward. All right. We'll get you some playtime, buddy. T2 Tab, former Major Air Force pilot. Thank you for your service, Major. That's a left-handed salute because if I do my right hand, I'm going to whack it right on my microphone. My uncle on my mom's side he retired as a lieutenant colonel pilot in the Air Force. I was a seaman. That was me right here because I was a fast swimmer. All right, guys. Yeah. Keep an eye on the SpaceX live stream if you wish. I'm going to call it there. I'm going to go give the dog some love and attention and some of that good old Kevin affection. You guys have a great day. And members, I'll see you tonight for the Electron launch. All right. That will be for YouTube members and patrons. I think that starts, if I remember right, about 11 p.m. Eastern time. Godspeed to all of you.